Hi everyone, this is Donny Lowy from Closeoutexplosion.com. Today I'd like to talk to you about how to consign wholesale dresses. Consigning wholesale dresses means giving wholesale dresses to retailers on a consignment basis. And the reason you do that is this way you don't have to convince a retailer to buy those dresses from you. And the benefit to the retailer is that they don't have to put money up front for those dresses, and they're only going to pay for those dresses once they sell them. Now, let me first tell you the disadvantage to the retailer for taking dresses on a consignment basis. As a retailer, you might think, wow, that's great. Let me take dresses on a consignment basis, and if I can't sell them, I'll return them, and I'll only pay for them once I sell them. Now, the challenge to the retailer is that you're going to end up paying a much higher price on a wholesale basis than if you were to pay for those dresses up front and just buy them in a direct wholesale transaction. For example, I sell wholesale dresses in my warehouse anywhere from $15 to $30 each. But if I was to give those dresses on a consignment basis, I might have to charge anywhere from $30 to $50 each to protect myself for any dresses that become damaged, any dresses that are returned after the season is done, and for any dresses that realistically I might not be paid for. So it's always, in my opinion, it's always better for a seller and a buyer to pay for the dresses up front as opposed to consignment. But at the same time, there are benefits to doing consignment, and sometimes a buyer will only take dresses on a consignment basis, so it's definitely worth exploring this option. Okay, so when you're going to sell those dresses on a consignment basis, you're actually not making the sale up front. You're only going to be paid for those wholesale dresses once the seller, whether it's a retailer or it's another wholesaler, whether it's an online seller or an offline seller, only when they sell those dresses, you're going to be paid for those dresses. And realistically, you're not going to be paid that same second or that same day. You might be paid a week later. You might even be paid, a month later, depending on the terms that you set up with the retailer. Now, the advantage to the wholesaler to engage in a consignment relationship with a retailer is that if they have dresses that are hard to sell, or they have so many dresses they're looking for every possible sales channel, then it may make sense for the wholesaler to provide those dresses on a consignment basis. Let me give you an example. Let's say a wholesaler buys a closeout of 5,000 dresses, and the wholesaler can sell 1,000 dresses a month. So the wholesaler can be patient and wait for the 5 months to go, and then eventually over the course of those 5 months he'll sell out all the dresses. Now, if the wholesaler wants to sell those dresses at a faster pace, the wholesaler can take 1,000 of those dresses, give them out to retailers on a consignment basis, and now he only has to sell 4,000 dresses because the other 1,000 dresses are going to be sold through additional sales channels. The only way that this strategy really works, or I should say the way this strategy works in the most efficient way, is if the dresses that are given out on a consignment basis are not given out to the customers who buy those dresses on a regular basis. And remember, on a consignment basis, the wholesaler has to charge a higher price for those dresses, so it's the regular customers or retailers who buy regularly are not going to want to pay the higher price, even though they're going to get an opportunity to pay for those dresses only when they are sold. Okay, now, when you do give out dresses on a consignment basis, you need to make sure they have a very good agreement with the retailer, so you know what price they should charge for it, what's the optimal price they should charge, what is a lower price they can charge for it. Let's say customers negotiate, let's say they're having a harder time selling those dresses, what's the lowest possible price they can sell those dresses at. You need to discuss how you're going to have your profit sharing agreement. Is it going to be a profit share agreement in the sense that you're going to split the proceeds, let's say 50-50 or 60-40, or are you going to be paid a certain amount no matter how much they sell those dresses for? So let's say the consignment store takes a dress from you that you would wholesale that price for $30 to the store, and now the dress store is going to attempt to sell that dress for $100. Now, are you going to get $30 from that consignment store regardless of how much they sell it for? Meaning they could sell it for $100, you still get $30. They could sell it for $50, you still get $30. Or are you going to have a profit sharing agreement where you split the proceeds 50-50? So if they sell it for $100, you get $50. But if they only sell it for $50, you're only going to get $25, and you're going to get actually less than what you wanted to charge for that dress. So you have to have an agreement that specifies what's the minimum they can sell that dress for and what kind of a profit sharing agreement you're going to have, or what kind of a sales agreement you're going to have. You also want to take the dresses and you want to give them a decent amount, but you don't want to give too many dresses because you want to spread out your dresses to many consignment stores. This way, if one consignment store just can't make any sales, or they sell the dresses and unfortunately, as it happens in business, they don't pay you for those dresses, you're not completely out because you can make your money by the dress sales that happen in the other consignment stores. All right, so you want to diversify just like in any area of business. And the key is to find consignment stores that are located outside of the regular market that you sell to. And you should also consider finding websites that will sell you dresses on a consignment basis. In this way, you only have to send them the dresses once they make the sale and pay you for those dresses. And if you trust them, if they're a large established retailer, maybe like Zully or like Amazon, you could ship the dresses ahead of time to them. And then if they don't sell the dresses, you can always get the dresses back. But this way, if they do sell them, they can fulfill the order without delay to the customer. All right, my website is closeoutexplosion.com.